So we have a difficult code. We have a neural system that for some children is not optimal for dealing with this code. And then we throw them an instructional system, a teaching system, teachers who don't understand what the code really is or how it needs to be conveyed.
I mean, we've got a plethora of excuses to explain why children who are presented with 5 or 6 hours a day of almost totally inappropriate instruction aren't learning. And none of those sources target the problem with the instructional design.
When we look at the kids that are having a tough time learning to read, and we went through the statistics, 38% nationally, disaggregate that, 70% kids from poverty and so forth, hit the wall. 95% of those kids are instructional casualties.
There's no doubt that the attitudes and affect surrounding school instruction, reading, texts, and all of those things are very maladaptive for kids that begin to experience different levels of reading failure.
Those of us who teach and administer and train teachers and write school books and all that just haven't measured up, haven't done the job as well as we need to. And these folks walk around the rest of their lives feeling like somehow they've failed, somehow they've done something shameful, somehow they have something in their life that they'd better keep quiet because it's going to be embarrassing or hurtful, when it wasn't necessarily their fault at all. They could have learned with better instruction, better support.
95% of the kids hitting the wall and learning to read are what we called NBT, never been taught.
There is a dysteachia in that kids are logical and that what they have mislearned, they have been mistaught.
I don't understand how educators can persist with methods of word recognition instruction that point a child to the first sound of a word and then ask the child to use the context of the sentence to get the identity of the word. It is so misconceived and so contrary to what is required of the child.
And so the teacher is suggesting you should do this, when in fact the child should be doing that. You can sample first or second grade classrooms around the country, and you will still find, despite what we know about the process of reading we've learned over the last 20 years, you will still find that teachers, for a first grader who's struggling to sound out a word, will discourage the child from doing that, encourage the child to look at the pictures in the book and guess what that word means. Good readers don't guess. Good readers sound out almost every word on the page. And so the teacher is saying you solve the task this way, when in fact the task has to be solved in an entirely different way. And that cannot help but confuse children.
Teachers have told them things like, look at the first part of the word and guess what word that could be. Teachers have told them, read the context, think of the context. What could that word be? One of the reasons, big puzzle, why kids have great excitation in their language areas, poor readers do, is because they're trying to treat the task as a verbal task. They're trying to figure out the meaning before they read the word. When they read words in lists, they make fewer mistakes than when they read the same words in context. Why? Because in grade 1, teachers did eminently stupid stuff like have them look at the picture, discuss the picture, and then read the words. I'm sorry, Virginia, pictures do not generate specific words, but specific words generate certain features of pictures. So the proper order is read the words. What are you going to see in the picture? Here's the picture, not the other way around. Then another thing they do is it's always discuss, discuss, discuss. Frame, think, then read. Wrong! And that's what these poor readers are trying to do. They're trying to figure out, like there's some kind of crazy rules for them.
You kids have to figure out what the words are themselves. I just have to figure out pictures.